this is Spec Ops 56 and my good friend and cameraman John, coming to you from my 2016 vegetable container garden. Now, I have expanded my garden this year from last year's garden. Last year I had a total of 21 containers. This year I've doubled it to 42. Now a few things, as usual, I got a late start this year on getting my garden planted. I only got started working on the garden about 2 weeks ago and just finished getting everything done and planted and arranged about last weekend. So yeah, that just seems to be par for the course. But I had a few problems from last year that I've taken steps to avoid this year. One of those problems was some of my peppers and tomato plants had blossom end rot. Now, blossom end rot is a problem caused by a lack of enough calcium. So this year what I did all year long, I saved all my eggshells from breakfast. Just put them in a Ziploc bag, did a Hulk smash on them, make them, small. Put them in the refrigerator until I needed them. And what I did is on all these, all the old containers from last year, I removed the first couple of top inches of the old soil, and I added a handful of the eggshells to each container and covered it over with some new soil, so that then I planted my plants, and that way the calcium from the eggshells will slowly leach out into the soil, and it should give the tomato and pepper plants all the calcium it needs. So hopefully I won't have any blossom end rot problems this year. Another thing that I learned from last year is that planting certain flowers and herbs that have a deterrent effect on a large number of pest insects, not the least of which is the tomato hornworm, actually works. Last year I only had 2 tomato hornworms all season in my garden. Now the year before that, they just about decimated my tomato plants. So it does work. So what I did this year is I increased the number and variety of deterrent plants that I planted, and I'll go over some of those later. Now another thing I did this year was I decided to get a little more organized, and made myself a little map of where everything, what is planted in all the containers. And all the thing I did was I made some custom-made garden labels. I just downloaded the pictures of the plants, what they're supposed to look like, from the various websites of the seeds and plants where I got them, and just stapled them to some popsicle sticks, laminated them with a little laminator that I bought from Amazon for about 35 bucks or so, and it seems to work real well. So that way I know what I've got, and I know what it's supposed to look like. Another problem I had starting out working on the garden this year was that several of my 5-gallon buckets turned out, when I started to work on them, I found out they were infested with ants. As soon as I stuck the trowel in them to start turning over the soil, the ants came boiling up. So what I did to get rid of them, because I didn't want to use any kind of insecticide or ant poison or anything on, in containers I'm growing food in, I used stuff called diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth is basically microscopic skeletons of a microscopic sea creature and it's the consistency of flour. Won't hurt beneficial insects, but the pest insects, it's like crawling over broken glass for them. And so I just put some in each container. Took over a couple of days, it took 2 sprinklings of it, but then the ants were all gone. So now I will show you what I have planted. First of all, in this hanging basket here is my lone survivor of my strawberry plants from last year. For some reason they just didn't winter over very well, and this was the only survivor. I had those in these big white tubs. So what I did is I replanted it into this hanging basket, and I used this shepherd's hook. But the problem was the shepherd's hook is only rated to hold about 6 pounds, and this thing is at least twice that, especially when it's got water in it. So what I did is I took one of these fence posts and a bunch of zip ties, and I'm using that to support it, and it seems to be working quite well. So sometimes you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. In this container, my recycle bin here, I planted 2 sweet potato plants. These are Beauregard, and I've never tried growing potatoes before, so this will be a learning experience. You see the little celosia there, that's just there for decoration. I just like the way it looks. Got some onion chives left over from last year that I actually took it out, I split it, put it in a bigger container, and put the other half over there. Now in the tubs here where I did have strawberries, I have planted an heirloom cantaloupe, Hale's Best. And this is going to be another learning experience because I've never tried to grow melons before. I have various varieties of basil and mint, marigolds, and also petunias, because these are the plants that repel the pests. And specifically, they all are supposed to repel the tomato hornworms, and that's the biggest pest I'm worried about. But they'll also repel aphids and other things. So I have increased the number and variety of those over last year. Now in this container, I have a tomato called Mortgage Lifter that I got from Park Seed. This is another Park Seed plant. This is another tomato. It's a cherry tomato called Italian Ice, which is a white cherry tomato. Got some globe basil. Coming over here, we have a cucumber plant. This is, let me find it, this is the Boston pickling cucumber. I like the smaller pickling size cucumbers. I just think they taste better. Marigolds. We come over here. Now this is a yellow pear heirloom cherry tomato. I started this from seeds, and I got these seeds last year. They were sent to me from Jennifer and Andrew Judkins of the Judkins Journey. These came out of the pears that they preserved them from the pears from their garden, and I started them from seed, and so far they seem to be growing well. So thank you, Andrew and Jennifer. Come along here, some mint. And over here we have another heirloom tomato. This is a Cherokee purple tomato. Got some purple basil here. So far, those of you that look at my videos from last year's garden will know that I had a mystery with the purple basil bandit. So far, since I planted this purple basil, he hasn't shown up. I never did find out what in the world it was, and I'm actually kind of disappointed because he hasn't shown up yet, because I planned on putting out a game camera and getting a picture and finally clearing up the mystery. So if he does return, then I'll do that, and then we'll all find out what in the world the purple basil bandit actually is. Over here we have another pepper. This is a pepper I grew last year called Big Daddy, It was those big, huge, long, orange, yellow peppers, and I really liked them, so that's why I got another one. This is also another one from Burpees. And coming over here, we got more marigolds, and this is another Burpees. This is another cherry tomato called Honey Bunch. Sweet basil, another Hale's Best Cantaloupe. I got some lemon balm, chives, some bee balm. I got the bee balm to hopefully attract bees here to the garden. In the window boxes, I normally would have planted carrots, but because I got such a late start, it was too late because carrots don't like hot weather. So once again, I decided to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I planted petunias, and I planted a couple of patio bush tomatoes. So hopefully I'm going to have a bumper crop of tomatoes and peppers this year. Then we come over here. This is my recycled brass tumbler bowl, and I planted some radishes in there, and I need to thin them out, which I'll do later today or tomorrow. Alright, now we come over here to these. And let me see what I got here. Alright, there we go. This is another cucumber. This is called Alibi. Then in this one is another one I've never grown before. This is a raspberry plant called Caroline. I'm told they do well. This one does well in containers, so I'm going to find out. Another learning experience this year. Then we come over here, and this is another one I started from seed. The seedling's still pretty small, but hopefully it'll get bigger. It's another cherry tomato called Orange Peruche. Alright, now we have in these containers in between those, which is, okay, these are called sweet pickle peppers. They are also small because I started those from seed, and like I said, I got a late start. Okay, and now come over here, and we have, yeah, this is another pepper variety called Hot Sweet Heat. This one that's already starting to produce some peppers is called Sweet Savor. Move over here. This is another pepper called Sweet Yummy. And then this is another Sweet Heat pepper. And lastly, over here, so I ran out of room on the back porch there before I ran out of containers and seedlings. This is another one of the yellow pear cherry tomatoes that I started from seeds that I got from the Judkins Journey. I decided to put it over here, and this way I just let it climb up the antenna pole. I stuck a marigold in there since it's so far away from the rest of them. Hopefully that will help keep the little green worms away. This is going to be another learning experience this year, and whatever I learn, I will try to let you know. Hopefully it'll help you. Don't really have anything else to tell you right now, so when I do have something else to tell you or show you here in the garden, I will do another video. So until then, this is Becos 56, my cameraman John, saying so long and happy gardening.